Little Earth, Wind, and Fire to get the old Tuesday afternoon juices flowing. We're in the studio.
I didn't know that people listen to this show to do their cardio. I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, no, this is a big cardio show.
I didn't know.
You realize that?
I didn't know.
This is all cardio.
I was unaware.
No, all these hipster assholes getting their treadmills in New York on the 9th or whatever, and they cardio away to you, man.
Wow, I had no idea.
They love you. You know, he loves you.
Thanks.
He was listening. Ethan got him into the show, and then he started listening, and then he hit me and was very sweet and was like, "Dude, I love your show."
Yes.
This was a couple years ago when we were really bad, and so that was where the relationship started. It was great. I was like, "This guy thinks we're good."
Wow.
I remember
we have some hope.
I remember thinking that helped me in my head because we don't know we still don't know what we're doing.
Did a fan come up to you? Right?
I actually feel like, listen, to be honest, like yes, fans did come up to me, but to be honest, I was going to say is like, I sometimes listen because I literally want to get my news from you.
No, that's not good.
That's not good or not.
It's not good.
But once in a while, I pay attention to that when I gotta go to before I gotta go to work.
Do you fuck with politics?
Oh God! Listen, for my own sanity, no. Honestly, no. I mean, I inevitably, like everybody else, like watch what's going on, the train wrecks that are happening, like on the news, but like with weariness. But I don't feel like I'm able to make serious statements
because you're not educated enough about the situation,
because I feel like I'm not putting in the time that it would require for me to really research. Meaning, I should look at different outlets and really go and even read the European papers. I should
before you formulate an opinion.
Yeah, I'm supposed to just come out there and be like, "This is what I heard," to some extent.
Do your agents and managers and all these people, man, they get so many fucking ticks just making money off this guy now. It's ridiculous. I don't like agents and managers. I'm sure he's got great ones. Do they tell you not to talk about politics? Do they say steer clear of all that because there's Republicans that go see movies and Democrats?
No, I haven't had anybody tell me that. No.
But walk me through November 8th, 2016 on Election Day.
Oh, well, funny enough.
I ask everybody that comes on the show this question. I want them to walk me through that day. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Here's the weird part. I was in my hotel room in Santa Monica, and I was going over my audition for I, Tonya, which was the next day.
Interesting.
And all I remember was that
So the Trump presidency's been pretty good for you. The next day he did the I, Tonya.
But I was like, I got to go to sleep. I can't watch this thing. Like, I got to get enough sleep for tomorrow and blah, blah. And I couldn't turn off the television because it was just like the
bad news kept coming.
Unspeakable was happening. I was getting text messages and people freaking out that he was actually going to win. And then, I'd shaved the facial hair I had into a mustache for the audition. And I was like worried that someone was going to give a fuck about like me walking around looking like an idiot the next day, and no one cared because it was the end of the world.
Right.
And that's how at least everybody behaved at that hotel.
So you quasi follow politics and what's happening with the planet. Do you have anything that you have a cause? Do you have something that sings to you that you really care about?
The ones that I'm getting much more, there's three things that I'm getting more affiliated with, and they all each have like little personal vendettas. Yeah. One is autism, because that's something that's very personal to my manager, and then I've been with her for 22 years. So,
and I'm teasing about. There are great managers and great agents.
And
I don't like them, just in general.
You're softy.
And then
relax.
There's another foundation called Our Big Day Out that's in Romania about orphans. Romania had a lot of orphan issues.
Why is that?
It's because everything kind of fell apart in '89 when the revolution happened. Like, the whole country just fell apart. No one knew how to function because they had been functioning under this dictatorship. And then, they thought they were going to basically I think, if humbly I may say, pride got the best of them and they fucking shot the guy. before they should have gotten some more information out of him. I don't know. But the country was in shambles, and I mean, there were people who had no jobs and nothing to put food on the table, and would send their kids to, find a life for themselves. And so you had all of these kids that ended up in Bucharest, like in the tunnel systems, that were addicted to like the spray paint and all that stuff.
Okay. Wow.
So anyway, I have a really good friend in Romania, and she's handling this thing called Our Big Day Out. So that's something I want to get more involved in. And then my stepdad passed away a few years ago from Alzheimer's, and so that was another thing that I thought I should, but I haven't done enough to get the ball rolling.
Well, no, I mean, listen, I think the thing, there's a lot of people that don't have any of that going on in their head. They're not thinking forward enough to even, and as you get more successful, that will be part of your story, giving back, because that's, I would imagine, I've watched you, I've have a relationship with you, and I've watched you in your performances. You'll figure that out. Right. It's good to, I think I think it's good for everybody to have their moment and figure out what makes their heart sing, and then you've got to figure out a way to be effective in that, and you'll do that.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's, like one thing I'm lucky with on Instagram, for example, I have these people that write to me these personal questions. They go, my parents got divorced, and their kids, and they're like, my parents got divorced. I don't know what to do. I feel depressed, or I'm like, help me with this or that. And I was having this conversation with somebody today who was a big producer in this business, and he was saying how, you can't be afraid. Like, and he was like, I have these 4 daughters, and like, all I'm worried about is that they're going to look at me and all they're going to see is my successes and not my failures. And I need to communicate to them how important failures are, because that's what really fucking makes a difference. And so when I look at, I guess I bring that up because when I look at Instagram and stuff, I think about these kids that kind of get the wrong idea of like, life from that app per se, but I feel like it's important to go like, yeah, I fucking get depressed. I get depressed all the time, like, I mean, we all do, we all have our moments. So,
well, I think we're in the middle of, we're really the first couple generations of human beings that have this marvelous tool called the internet. And with the digital age and social media, we're all like neophytes with it, and we're just like, we're using it terribly wrong currently. I think in the next 30 to 40 to 50 years, we're going to figure out how to use this in the best way. But for now, everyone's following Nicki Minaj's ass.com because we just don't know. You know what I mean? And there's also this idea that, people will click on your thing and they see your phenomenal life and they don't realize.
Right.
And most people are trying to fool the world by putting up their best version of their life. And that's not on any, so none of you, most of what you see on Instagram or Twitters or any of this shit isn't real. It's people's idea of their best version of their own life. And it's not really indicative of who we are as human beings, because we've all got the same shit going on. We all got the same fears, the same anger, the same jealousies. And you don't see that at all with the social media at all.
That's going to post more failures. I want to see more failures.
What are you bad at? What are you not good at?
Oh God! Come on.
What is the thing that you need to work on the most?
I can't, this is like the only job I can do. I can't do, I don't know. I mean, the acting is the only thing I can do, right? So I'm not saving anybody's life, or maybe. But you can, maybe. You for sure you can. You can definitely you can definitely be of service as an actor. It's just up to you to make that decision to do that. But I'm talking. I'm my own worst.
Are you irresponsible? Are you financially irresponsible?
No.
Are you?
I'm a very good overthinker.
Are you neurotic? You think too much?
I'm definitely neurotic for sure.
You are.
I overthink everything, and I'm a great example of getting in your own way. So. I think that's the one thing.
Give me an example of getting in your own way.
I can easily talk myself into thinking that it's the end of what's the fucking point? It's the end of the world. I mean, I can do that probably in 15 seconds.
So you can quickly get into that morbid reflection.
For sure. I can definitely get into that, but also I could sit there and look at the other night and go. It's nice to be surrounded by these people, but this, but that, but this, but that, but that, and then catch myself and all that.
Why do you think you do that?
Because I had probably a very unstable upbringing, and that's, the one thing what makes you successful at the same time is also your own thing. It's gets in your way.
It's so fun. The journey of humandom, is it not? I mean, we're all perfectly imperfect.
Right.
We've all got our own shit, whatever it is. I hate myself to the point of I have to have anchors, beautiful things in my life so that I don't flip off the deep end and end up in a hole drinking underneath the Kodak Theater where you're going to end up being in 4 weeks celebrating. You know what I mean? You're like, so I have my girlfriend, I have my son, because we're all this beautiful work in progress.
Right. Well, you need your anchors, right?
Devin, now hold on. I want to get into this thing because you have had to, as a man in Hollywood, you have had to deal with the revolution or the Time's Up movement, the terrible sexual assault stuff with Harvey Weinstein. I have told friends of mine that are in the movie business, just go away. Go in a hole. Don't make any comments. Don't talk about anything because we're in such a tumultuous time that because this Matt Damon guy seems like a sweet guy and he's making it, but he made a comment and it's like that blows up in his face and I know that I know that guy's got a lovely wife and 2 kids. He seems like a good dude. But it's how have you navigated? Because have you been asked about it?
Well, but like I'm not mad. Like I'm not. No one. I don't think I've been in situations where people are like really, really seeking to know my.
But if you made some kind of a wild comment, you are big enough now where that would hit and be a thing. If you made some asinine comment about this current.
Yeah, I'm sure like anybody else, I would be. Of course. I mean,
have you been asked questions about it?
We've been. Promoting the movie at the
which
time.
A lot of it has
happening.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, actually, the movie deals with some aspect of abuse, obviously, and it is about a woman and kind of her taking charge or struggling to take charge, and figure skating, all these fucking older judges, and a lot of them being men, and so it's actually a very timely movie that way. But yeah, we've dealt with it a little bit. It's inevitable not to deal with it. The first thing that ever comes to my mind immediately is that it's a sad, like it's a very off kilter like feeling. It's just awful because you feel I think as a man I feel like you feel helpless and also like in a way but also still somehow responsible or you feel like you should be doing something. You feel like that's like the feeling that when you read these things or when you see these things, it's like, fuck, like, okay, like, what can I do? What do I do now? Like, how can I help the situation? Because it's, but in a way, I think the world would be a safer place if women ran the world.
Sure.
Literally, like, I think it's almost like slightly proven fact. There's this great book out there, it talks about, it's called Sapiens, and it literally asks the question, like, if, like, world leaders were actually all women, would we even have a fucking war? You know what I mean? Would we even have to go to that, extent? Would people die as much? Would it be... So I don't know, I think, but I think what's happening is that there's a real confusion a little bit about, what everyone's sort of like, okay, like, what kind of man am I now? Like what there's a confusion in the way females and males I think are interacting because it has been changing and we are in a world now that is where women don't need men in my opinion can do and they don't have to like they can supply they can make more money they can have jobs they can lead companies they can do whatever they want they can have kids without men. You know what I mean? So what's our fucking purpose at this point?
Right, as men. Well, for 4,000 years we've had it our way.
Exactly.
And the institutional misogyny exists. We don't even know that we're being. We've had so many different conversations about my own behavior over the last 20 years. This all starts to happen, and then I start to wonder, like, okay, how was I out of line or inappropriate, or how did I take liberty with situations, or women that worked for me, or, I had this door girl that worked for me forever, and there was like every night we were flirting with her, and it was like, wait a minute, this woman just maybe wants to go to work and not be flirted with, right? She just wants to go and do her job, but every night she's in this like, not coercive, but like, dealing with comments and that's not me being a bad guy. That's just me that's me not really understanding that like it's the institutional misogyny of where we are, and I think that's the best thing that's happening here, is that we are really having to redraw lines of our own male behavior. Yeah. Even though we're not bad guys, I'm not a bad guy with that, but there have been ways that I have been like, holy shit, how did I be looking at my door girl going, Jesus, you look great tonight. How about tonight? Is tonight the night we're going to go home and fuck? Like, she doesn't need to hear that at 1:40, but I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong, really. Right, Zombie?
Right, you thought you were joking.
And having fun, and because we're living in an institutionally misogynist world, but I couldn't imagine the idea if it was the other way around for 4,000 years. I could not imagine, like, putting my clothes on at 8:30 going, fuck, I'm about to get hit on by the zombie again tonight. Like, I don't...
Like, better not wear that, because I know that's going to get a comment.
So...
But in consumerism and in the message out there repeatedly, often in movies and commercials and what sells, we've been prone to think that that's a good thing. You should... If you're a woman, you should get a compliment. You're lucky or something. Like, there's a message out there.
It's all institutional, and we are in the middle of a massive revolution of thoughts, ideas, plans, actions.
And it's going to take some time, I think, for men to like really
know their place,
how to communicate properly.
Did you, when all of this started to happen, did you review your conduct, your life, your behavior, and think, was I ever out of line, or was I ever... No, but I think every dude... I think every dude did that, has done that. If you're a responsible man in today's world, aren't you going, shit, or no, I'm okay, or like, did you do that, Van?
No, I don't think I said... but I never worked at a nightclub where I'm saying that. I didn't say that to her. That's not the type of person I am. But I don't feel like I need to go back through my behavior towards women because I was borderline harassing them. I feel like I don't have any situations like that.
Okay, well then maybe I don't. Yeah,
but I understand that men need to do that. But I just felt like
you never like walked back through your life and saw different relationships or dating, or was like, well, I didn't need to be that way.
I guess you could say I had a relationship with an intern where I was in power.
Okay, well that's not good. That's right out of the gate. But what did you say to her? Were you coercive?
I feel like we've said enough.
You can't date your...
But also, I feel like, look, I mean, you can read the other person, right? I mean, if you're staring at her and she's not looking back, maybe don't go up to her.
Of course.
I mean, like, unless you are somebody who thinks that, like, you can
do whatever you want, because I'm the guy.
Look how that played out.
And that happens. It's still happening today. I'm sure somebody right now is being subjugated in a position of power. However, we're all very awake to the point where I think good men are making decisions or figuring out a way to navigate this new world we live in, and the bad guys are going to continue to get fucking routed out.
I feel like I'm overhearing conversations between men being like, I'm scared, I don't know how to act around a woman. And I've never felt that way, that I don't know how to act around a woman. That I heard a conversation one time where, like, I'm scared to give a woman a kiss on the cheek to say hi. And it's like, well, I've never even thought to do that. And
I definitely this past weekend hugged some people and given them a kiss on the cheek, and they did not kiss me back on the cheek, and I felt very worried about it. And I was like, I didn't know. And then I went for the double, like, on the other side, and that didn't work out either, so I know what you mean.
This is good for us as men to be in this scenario. It's great for us to be. I walked through goal the other night with my hands up. All right. It's completely packed.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get nobody saying. I literally was walking through the crowd like this because I don't want no hands on because I don't know. Nobody knows. There was a situation the other day where a buddy of ours was talking about a girl's butt, and he, in a positive tone, he was like, God, she's got a fat butt. right?
Okay.
But in the good way. Like, well, no, guys, I like fat butts. You see my girl's butt? It's nice and fat and firm and great. And he was like, look at that fat butt. And this girl heard it and turned around and freaked out and then went on a blog and said, this guy was fat shaming me. This guy bodied the thing, and I'm going to talk about it all on my podcast or whatever it is. And this guy's like, I meant it as a compliment. But because the woman has body issues, and because she's the one that's got the issue, now this guy's got a fucking problem.
Well, because it's her body.
Well, yeah, and keep those thoughts to yourself.
I have to keep those thoughts to myself?
Yeah, probably. I thought you were talking about a photo of someone that you knew. I don't know.
No, I can't. If I'm
Why do you
sitting
need to
next
say that unless you go up to
Vanger, come on, man. We're living in the real world. If I'm
Okay.
sitting next to you at a bar and Zombie walks in and I'm like, man, her rig is tight.
But you don't know her?
I don't know you,
Then
but
that's just catcalling if she heard you.
I-
That's already.
I'm not. No,
everybody
no.
knows that's
She
not fun.
overheard it on accident. Like I'm talking. Wait, but are
Just
we gonna?
because she heard it and it means it's inappropriate? If she didn't hear it, it would have been okay.
Well, I don't.
Is it even bad to be like point out your buddy, be like, hey, look at her, look, she's hot. Is that wrong?
Zombie.
I mean, it's not like I've never done it, so I can't. I don't know.
I mean, this is. But see, this is the thing that's fun about this is that there are more good people in the world than bad people, and we are in the middle of figuring out how to behave with each other now, right? And I don't, it's fascinating. What's going on with you and girls? Do you have a
segue into?
Do you have a? Is it hard to date and be you?
Well, look, I mean, I think in this business it's really difficult because you're traveling all the time. You're never
a
in the same
gentle
place.
man. You're a lover. You believe? No, hold on. I'm gonna blow up your spot a little bit. You're a gentleman. I've raised my son to be a gentle. I broke the word down. A gentle man. It's okay to be a man and be all of those nice things that a man provides. But the second part that I didn't get for a very long time was the gentle part, right? You are a gentle.
You didn't get that because the message out there of what is a man is like, I don't know.
Well, no,
I might have had it because, like, for example, I have my past is in Eastern Europe.
Right.
So that's a very specific kind of, messaging that I was growing up, and so that's what I mean. I think sometimes when you hear gentleman and you're growing up, like, you don't really think that's always a good thing.
Right.
And that's
sure.
like a message you get, because, you have Robert De Niro and Raging Bull, and all that stuff, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, is that where you were getting?
Well, I was raised by two women, so I cherish females.
Me too.
Women that I like and respect, or that I know you're gonna roll your eyes, but on some level have earned my respect, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right. I did.
Okay, I know, but like the women that I think are real, Mina, my girl, my sister, my mom, other women that I respect, or I'm like, I cherish women like that. And then, as a single man, there's also the women that do things, and I'll judge them and be like, oh, that's not a very nice thing to be doing. Like, and so then I also, it's different. I have a thing with sex and love is a little bit different for me. I cherish my girlfriend, but sex has never been about really it's not violent, but it's never been about intimacy or connecting. Like, I've had to learn how to do that with Courtney, like make love instead of having it be.
You never associated the two.
Yeah,
but you have had sex where love is.
And it's incredible.
And it is incredible and
Correct.
sometimes way better. So then.
For sure, but I had to learn that. I had to learn how to be intimate sexually. Does that make sense? Instead of turning it into like this crazy sexual dark, not in a bad way, but just they're well, no, they're
No.
You know what I mean? No.
Yeah, I mean, I think Listen, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We had a conversation a few years ago. I don't remember where you were with a girl, and you were really battling about being a good man. That's what I took out of it, right? You weren't a scumbag. So in your life and with dating, your schedule's a nightmare. Do you always worry when you meet a new girl? Why does she really like me? Do you have that going on?
No, I don't. No, I don't think that. I don't. My brain doesn't go there. I mean, it never has gone there. To be honest, no.
Are you hard to date?
I'm sure I'm not easy to date. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not easy. I'm definitely not a walk in the park.
Why are you not easy to date?
Because I get in my own way. I mean, because
you overthink.
I think I overthink, but I also I think that I can be emotionally unavailable, and I think that's very tough. You know, I think, and not all the time. I just mean I think and that's just, you know, unfortunately part of this business. Like when you're getting caught up, when you're still trying to come up the ladder, when you're trying to, you know, get these jobs or whatever, you're trying to do a good work, do a good part, whatever. Like sometimes you're not, but maybe that's something we all struggle with. You know, who can be emotionally available all the time? You know, even after a year. How long have you guys have been together? How long?
My girl and I have been together five
That's
years in
amazing.
April,
That's
but there's a lot of times I'm not available emotionally. And there's times where she's actually always emotionally available. I have to give it to her. But I'll go through stretches of 2, 3, 4 weeks where I'm literally just living in my own world, and she has the fortitude and the foresight to understand that my person is currently in that place, and it's not personal to me. That's his own individual journey. He's got this going on, that going on, this going on.
Well, but that takes a very strong woman.
It does, and she is able to sort of walk around me and be loving and be caring. She's an amazing person and partner to be with because she doesn't personalize. Because I don't like people. I definitely don't like. I mean, you got to understand. This woman I'm with, I am in a perpetual state of compromise. That's what relationships are.
100%.
Give, take, compromise,
and values, and what's valuable to you. You know, like if you know your values, if you know what's your values, that's at least you got that going.
Have you been in a relationship and personalized when someone has been unavailable?
Of course. I mean, 1,000%.
And you think it's your fault, and what's wrong, and what am I doing wrong, and why do you not, and who do you like, and why?
Yeah,
you get into all of that.
Yeah, of course. Like I mean, I think it's hard not to. You have to really
for sure. I think there's something happened. I don't know. I wish I could articulate the key to Courtney and I. I think the key to Courtney and I is that we are both very sure and committed to the fact that this is the relationship of our lives.
Right.
And so because we've both made that commitment to each other, there is a lot of leeway for her to be and do and act however she wants, because I know ultimately we have committed to this commitment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so therefore I don't personalize if she's A, B, C, or D. And I think that there's a lot of
people call that marriage. But
right. Well, I mean, no, for sure. How about this? Do you like being single more than you like being in a healthy relationship, or are you a serial monogamist? What is your?
Oh, I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm just laughing at some of my friends in the back. Giving me a nice lie. I feel like I mean, I think there's pros.
You're
and
doing
cons.
great, by the way.
I think there's pros and cons to both. I mean, look, I think it's I like intimacy with somebody. I like doing something with someone. You know, I like going to traveling with somebody, going to museums, whatever. Like having to that connection,
companionship.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing, and sometimes that's very important. Sometimes that could be more important than sex, even. Although that's a tough.
No, way more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I think I've seeked that, in one way or shape or form, but you can't always have that. I mean,
Do you want kids and all that? You must.
Yeah,
Right.
I would love kids.
The world would be a shittier place if you weren't a dad. You know that, right?
Well, that's very kind.
Well, no, I don't. Like Ethan. I mean, Ethan has to be a dad. Like he has to be.
The world
would be
a place if I was not a dad at some point.
No, but it's true. When do you want to get married and have kids and all that shit? I know that immigrant kids, they usually have this idea about when and how it's supposed to go down and at what age range. And
well, that's what I was saying. Because my dad had me when he was 27 and I'm 35 right now, there is a part in the back of my mind that I go, fuck, I should be a father. I should be, I should be there for my son and stuff. And I mean, I should have kids already, and provide and all that stuff. But I have to remember that we're in a very different world than he was in.
Sure.
In the 1980s. And a lot of things have changed. And I think, one of the things I talk to my friends about a lot is like, you can't decide to be a dad because that's what you should be doing next.
Right.
You gotta know.
Just because that's the stop on the train.
Right. That's the stop on the train. And then, next thing you know.
People do that though. They will make concessions
Right,
because
but
at
then-
this age I'm supposed to be this guy.
But I feel like that comes back to haunt people later.
For sure.
And that's my biggest worry when it comes with it is like rather than, and everybody's like, but don't you want to run around with your kid or do you want to be like 60, whatever, while you're, you can't play ball with your kids and stuff. And I feel like I'm probably going to be a lot healthier at that time than my dad was, is now. But more importantly, you should have some idea of who you are.
For sure.
Before you try to tell somebody else how to be. So,
what is your favorite quality in a woman emotionally?
Favorite quality in a woman emotionally?
Yeah, like is it loyalty? Is it forgiveness? Is it
the thing I despise the most is criticism.
So you don't like being in a relationship and waking up and hearing how you're not doing it
criticism
correctly.
Is definitely hard, but for me. But again, it's inevitable. That's part of life. But emotional quality, I think, is it's just the emotionally supportive to somebody who may or may not always be there.
The problem, here's the problem with this fucking guy. The problem is that it's so tough. And I ain't crying this dude no rivers. I mean, come on. He's got a great life and it's all. But there's a... Dudes... I have this theory. I'm going to play a song.
Can I also ask her a question at some point? I don't want to disturb what you're saying.
Fuck off. Ask her questions all day long.
Will you tell me what you think women want?
You mean just in general?
I already know this, but go ahead.
Listen to us.
Listen
and believe
to
us. Yeah.
And believe us. But that's coming from her perspective. I got the secret.
You do.
I do. I'm going to tell you the secret. I've told Ethan
Here
the
it
secret.
comes.
This is the greatest secret of all time.
Tell everybody.
Have I told you?
Yeah.
You say it all the time. I already
Rubbing
know what
that
you're going
right
to say.
temple.
Here every day.
I'll
You want
tell
me
you
to-
what you're going to say.
Hold on a second. You want me to tell you the secret to fucking love?
To this song only.
Okay. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to change your life right now. You fucking kidding me? I'm going to say it would be the best day that ever happened to you. Coming on this show.
I agree.
Women need two things and two things only. For happiness. They need two things. That's it. You are here to provide two things. That's it. If you provide these two things, you can win in any relationship. You are here to provide safety and laughter. If you can provide safety and laughter to a woman, she will forgive most everything. She will forgive you're not showing up. You want to go watch the football game while she wants to go do whatever. The lack of, because the thing that we as men mourn the most about a relationship is we mourn the loss of being able to be irresponsible. Like, we want to do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it, right? And then when we get in a relationship, fuck, I got to show up for this. I got to do this. I don't want to do that. I want to compromise here. If you provide safety and laughter, a woman will follow you off the cliff, my man.
Profound.
It is.
It is. No, it's true.
You provide your woman safety and laughter?
Working for me.
That sounds like a pretty good fucking look for a dude if that's what you were after, right?
That's a pretty good deal, yeah.
Safety and laughter?
Hard to turn that down, yeah.
You're capable of providing safety and laughter.
Yeah, and I have at different points in my life for sure. I mean, but safety, I get you. I mean, that's the thing we all want, right? Is some kind of certainty in a certain uncertain world. But
I want loyalty and emotional support, like you said. I want to always know that my girl has my back no matter fucking what. That's it. Even if I'm being ridiculous. I've been out there and been ridiculous. Off the reservation. Completely, completely wrong. Out of my mind. And I've looked back and known it and looked back and my girl's like, I got him. Like, even though he's crazy, and then we come home and I say, I love you so much for that. I am out of my mind. I'm so sorry. And then I'll apologize or do whatever. But my woman has my back no matter what. She's got my fucking back.
Because of safety and
Because I provide safety and laughter.
Did you write that?
Everybody's mind out there right now is exploding.
No.
I should just fucking write a book. Safety, laughter. $25. Self-help. Just 2 words. Safety, laughter. I'll even put 400 blank pages in it. And it's the Shane Powers self-help, find a way to love.
Yeah, do
Safety, laughter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you should.
All right, when we get back. I mean, look at your life over there. I pretty much nailed a lot of it.
Yeah, you got it.
I want to get into what's over there. Okay, we did all that. Oh, we've got goals. I want to get into that. Ooh, set love. Got into that. I was reading your wiki. We're going to get back. We're going to talk Marvel a little bit. We're going to talk about that amazing experience. And, I don't know. This has been amazing.
You're doing a great job.
I'm thrilled. You've been fantastic.
No,
you really
thank
have.
you. I mean, I'm glad I was involved in some good conversation.
All right, we'll be right back. It's the world's only 24-hour talk radio app. It's the Morning Drive. Change it.